Good morning, Goat Nation. That car guy Eddie here, and today is another video. Today is Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. Right off the bat, I want to give everyone a shout out for that. Today's video is actually, it's an interesting one because it's something that I got fed in my comments the other day, and I was actually asked by somebody, Eddie, what's a fast car I can get on the cheap? And it's interesting because there are a lot of cars out there that people can get on the cheap, and what holds its value versus what doesn't hold its value, to me, baffles me. There's this idea going around that we're in the golden age of Honda, which basically means any Honda that's a stick shift is worth $2,000 or higher. And it's funny because, like, these cars, like, okay, a 95 Integra LS 5-speed with under 200,000 miles, if it's a clean title, I'll guarantee you it would be like $3,000. And you're looking at a car that has like 130 horsepower, like 112 foot-pounds of torque, or some ungodly low number. And it's because people, okay, so the generation that is buying cars now, when I was buying these cars in the early 2000s, they were young and they would see a cool car rolling up and they'd go, whoa, look at that car. And they'd see like a lowered Honda or Civic with like a big wing on it and body kit and wheels, some crazy color. And they're getting to the point where, to them, that is a classic car. Also, my age bracket, guys in their mid-30s, we finally can afford the cars that were toys back in the day. And this happens with every generation. And this video is actually about, I want to find a car that's actually fast, that is affordable and going to be moddable, and this is that list for you. Now, I'm going to start off the list with probably what I think is the most affordable car out there for the power, and it's going to be the SRT4. The 03 to 05 SRT4, I mean, hands down, is no joke. It's a 2.4 turbocharged dual overhead cam car. It's fast. The downfall to it is it's front-wheel drive, and because of the way that the suspension is, the McPherson struts on the front, the widest tire you could put on it is really going to be like maybe a 215 or 225 without really doing some big changes to it. So like I said, that's going to be my number one car. You can find an SRT4, and an SRT4 will run completely stock 13.9, 14 flat all day long. All day long, 13.9, 14 flat, which is pretty respectable. I mean, it's respectable in the car community. The next car that I want to talk about that is going to be fairly affordable, that you can get your hands on, that not a lot of people know about, is going to be an STI. Oh, well, wait, Eddie, an STI is not a cheap car. You're right, but if you get its Saab counterpart, it is. For those of you that don't know, Subaru is an itty-bitty little car manufacturer, and if you could find a Saab 93X, it is effectively an STI. It's just made by a much nicer organization that doesn't happen to be around anymore. But the running gear is the same, the all-wheel drive system is the same, the turbocharger is the same, the tune is the same, everything is identical, parts flip-flop over. The only difference is it's got a different front end, a different hood, different tail lights and stuff. But everything that's important about making these cars what it is the fact that it's already there. Okay. Another one I want to talk to you guys about that is pretty affordable that you can get your hands on is going to be a Mazda Speed 3 or Mazda Speed 6. So both of those cars actually came with a 2.4 liter turbocharged dual overhead cam, which makes, not a whole lot of power. I think they made 220 horsepower. And the downfall to it is that the Mazda 3, if you get it, the hatchback, the one that everybody wants, with the big scoop and stuff like that, is front-wheel drive, and once again, you're going to have trouble hooking up, just like the Neon, you're going to have trouble hooking up with it. Now, if you get the Mazda Speed 6, that actually comes with all-wheel drive, and that can be found in a 6-speed. So, I mean, you should be able to get all the cars I've just listed on my list for under, I mean, SRT4s, I've seen them go for like $3,000 that are in decent shape. The problem is, and this is what you're going to run into if you guys don't hurry up and go get one of these. Turbocharged cars from the early 2000s at this point are going to start either A, blowing up, B, being modded to hell, then blowing up, or C, just being bought up by everybody. And it's one of those like investment opportunities that I tell people, you know, I remember when I was buying and flipping cars a lot, I bought a 240, and the 240 I bought was a nice car. You know, I bought it for like $2,000, and I sold it for $4,500 a month and a half later. So the key is when you're talking about flipping cars and what's a good deal is you have to be ahead of the market trend. And that's something that I think is very important that you do while you're out there. You want to stay away from anything that's got a Honda badge on it or an Acura badge on it, because it's like a tax you pay, you know, to have those cars, especially if they're in like a 5-speed or anything like that. To be honest, they're really not that fast. See, we have entered a world now where everything is direct injected. Everything has turbos. I mean, a stock Camry, Camry comes with 300 horsepower. That's insane. 300 horsepower in a Camry. I think the Maxima is like 292 or something like that. So really, the age of like little pocket rocket cars is kind of going away. You know, I mean, even the GTI and stuff like that. Now, here's the deal: are you going to be winning any drag races? No, you're really not. Especially if you go snag one of these front-wheel drive ones, because you're going to have a ton of trouble hooking up. And don't even think about taking it to a racetrack, because you're going to have a bunch of trouble hooking up. And everybody at a racetrack anyways has like a Dodge Challenger or Charger 392 that has like 500 horsepower, and they're like, so bro, I could run, 13.1. Bah! Lame. So it just depends what you want to drive and how you want to go. And I wanted to make this video, like I said, in response to somebody I got on my other comments. Big shout out to Alpha 308, because you asked me, hey, what can I do? And in fact, we actually exchanged some emails, and I found him a local car on Craigslist. I actually found him an Eagle Talon, and he didn't even know that an Eagle Talon and a Mitsubishi Eclipse was basically the same car. So it's pretty nice. It's cool to be able to do that for him, and he ended up getting a really, really good deal on that. So shout out to you, man. Thank you for the comments. And like I said, if you're looking for a cheap, affordable car that is fast, those are probably going to be the ones that you're going to want to shoot for. Those early 2000s turbocharged cars, especially at this point, because it's just so freaking cheap to do things to them. But keep in mind, though, anything that you get turbo, when you look at the mileage on it, double the mileage. Just double it. Double it. You're running boost. You're putting more strain on the motor. So, for what it's worth, have a great day, and thank you very much for tuning in. Peace.